If they get the shape wrong, then they're going to get the job wrong. Can a pro licensed coach go and do performance analysis? No, we can't.
Right.
So why can he do scouting?
Yeah, and so when you look at kind of the evolution of somebody kind of going into a scouting role, what do you think is actually happening now, Colin? When you look at a lot of the scouts that you see coming through, where are they kind of coming from? Just paint us a picture of the different places they're coming from and where you think, in terms of where they are, what their next step should be.
What's happening is scouts are coming now from colleges, schools, universities, etc., because the word scout is being changed to the word performance analysis or the word analyst. Yeah.
Right.
So if I go to a game, I might see, I'll make this up. If I go to Burnley versus Blackburn Rovers, I might see 3 or 4 scouts like me, 57, I've been doing it for years. And then I might see 6 or 7 performance analysis, which can vary from the age of 19 to 30. Now, I'm not saying they're no good and they're not good at the job. They go to university, they learn to use these softwares, the computer whiz kids, they're brilliant. They've got knowledge of football, they've got the UEFA B badge, they've got coaching qualifications, they've even got scouting qualifications with the FA. They have a pathway on scouting. But to what level? To what level? We have a pathway, and our pathway is coming into Ipso, starting at the academy and working your way into the first team level, working your way into opposition analysis and working your way to the top. That's the pathway. That's how it should be. You're getting some young lads now go to university. I'm only making this up. They go to university, they come out of university at 23, say, at 22, and they get a performance analysis job at, I don't know, let's make this up, Blackpool.
Right.
So they go out scouting. Put one of them up against someone like us who's been doing it for 20 years, or Ted who's been doing it for 40 years, that kid is not going to spot what these guys are going to spot.
Right.
And it might take him 10 games to see certain things about a player, where one scout will see it like that in 2 games or 3 games. So what I'm trying to say is that scout with all that experience and knowledge would beat that other scout or the performance analysis or analyst to that player signing. Because they'd need more time. Now, the argument back to that is the analyst would say, yeah, but I'd look at him statistically and I'd realise that but I'd argue back saying, yeah, but how do you know these stats are right? Yeah. It's a very, very fine line. So what my advice is, you need to do performance analysis to understand the computer side, the technical side of scouting. But you need what we've got, our experience by eye, understanding body shape, movement, understanding reactions, facial expressions, attitudes, characters. You can get that, and then you start to understand the team shapes and the positional play, the phases of play, and if this comes in time, you can join everything together and you've got the perfect scout. Right.
So if you think about like a millennial scout, somebody that's very new to it, it's very new to them. They obviously want to get into football, and literally they're coming in and they're looking at the computer side of it, like the system side of scouting and in terms of recruitment. But do you think they have a view? Because a lot of scouts I've spoken to, one of the things they tell me is that they feel undermined. They feel like they're being undermined. A lot of scouts I've spoken with by the young, like what you were saying, you've got a lot of experience and these people come in with their computers. Do you see where I'm coming from? Like that's
100%. No, this happens all the time. I've known this for years. And the biggest problem you've got is you get guys, get qualifications, and we're talking about these analysts, right? And it's not their fault. They're just honest, normal lads. And they go to university, they work very, very hard, they work super difficult, they work super hard, and they come away with a degree in performance analysis, okay? And they are a computer whiz kid, and they can do everything you need to know about the performance analysis from a statistical way.
Right.
But then you go to a match on a Tuesday night, Manchester United under 23s versus Liverpool under 23s, where the tempo's really slow. Nobody can be bothered. There's no passion. There's no desire. It's like a pre-season friendly. Right. Yeah. This person who's not took enough games in. It's all about experience of taking lots and lots of games in, of understanding expressions, like I've just mentioned there, right? Understanding the environment.
Right.
Can't see the players as sharp as an experienced guy can. In 10 years' time, 15 years' time, all these performance analysis guys now will be super good.
Right.
Because they'll have done all that.
Interesting.
It'll be 10, 15 years' time before. We're trying to speed that up.
Right.
By giving them our courses, which will take 2 years.
Right.
But you try telling that to a performance analysis.
Right.
Because they won't have it. Because I've been to university, there's my degree, I'm in a club, I've got the badge. What are you? Just an ordinary scout like that? Right. No. The problem is ordinary scouts, and let's use me as an example, 57-year-old man, doesn't want to go on a computer and learn all the, I can't do it. I'll have to go to university to learn this performance analysis. Are you with me? It would take me 3 years. So the experienced scouts are not coming upwards where the new scouts are coming around back door, but they haven't got the experience of them. It needs to be joined together. We do a webinar talking about this, you know, and we on our performance analysis episode 1 on our workshops. If you go around the clubs and you're talking to a performance analysis who's only been there 2 years or 3 years, it won't be that experience. It'll be fantastic with everything statistical. But when you're looking at a player live, I wouldn't value his judgment that strong. It'd be good. He'd get the basics. I can't say that. He'd get all. But sometimes these analyst guys think the basics is enough. No, it's not. Not when you're paying 20 million. So they need to learn in to zoom in at the details. And they haven't got that experience. That's not their fault. That comes in time. This is what we've got and we're trying to teach. And, you know, I wish I had £1 for every student who's come on our course, who's been a performer and gone, wow, I'm so glad I've come on the course because no one's taught me this. You don't get this at university because there's no 57-year-old guy who's been doing it in non-league and League 2 and League 1 for 20 years to show you.
So when you kind of are looking at, so obviously you would have, in terms of the mix of people coming in, Colin, and that are actually coming in to learn. So you would obviously have journalists, I would assume, because they want to get better on how they report on games and stuff. And then of course you obviously have, obviously you'll have scouts that maybe come in, they've worked at a club, maybe a foundational phase, but they want to add more tools to their learning. Then of course you have a lot of people that are working within grassroots.
Well, we get a really mixed bag. We get a mixed bag, and I'll explain who we get in. Very much like you just said. You've got the journalists, you've got the performance analyst guys coming onto the course. You've got parents coming on who just want to help the kid and learn a little bit more. You've got people who are 30 years. You've got people who are 30 years of age and they're a window cleaner, and they go, do you know what? I wouldn't mind getting into scouting. I want a different job. So they come into scouting. You can do that part time until one day you can get it full time. You know, if you want to go down you want to go in a club full time, you're gonna have to go down the performance analysis way. If you want to be a scout, you can go through the academy, get into the academy, and just do that. You know,
like working in a development centre initially,
part time. Until if you work at Man United, they might have 8 to 9 full time scouts like me, just going around, just looking at plays, but. Them sort of people are very, very experienced. They won't be a young analyst who's just coming into the game. They'll be very, very experienced people. They will send an experienced scout. If they don't, that's where it's the fun.
And I mean, when you look at like a lot of scouts, when you've looked at a scout and you think he's not going to be good in scouting kind of long term, what are kind of the traits that you see?
When you see somebody who's not grasping scouting,
right?
And again, this is going to sound like I'm slagging people off, and it's wrong. It's not. I'm not slagging people off. I'm just saying where they're making mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, let's just say, Nick, I sit next to you, we're both for the game, and the first thing you do, you've got to work out the team shape.
Right.
And if you think a team's playing 4-2-3-1, and I think they're playing 4-4-2, and we're looking at them two central midfield players, they've got different roles to play in different shapes. So you're looking for different attributes compared to me. So all of a sudden our opinions are going to be different because you're looking for something different to me. That's the biggest mistake that they make, getting the shape wrong.
Right.
If they get the shape wrong, then they're going to get the job wrong. If they get the job wrong, then they're going to have a problem then working out what attributes match the job. And before you know it, you're going to be saying no to a player who really could be good enough for your club.
Right. So take us back to kind of when you kind of started Ipso and what the journey was and how that idea kind of came about.
Well, I've been thinking about it with Ted for a few years, and to cut a long story short, I ended up meeting Camille, my partner at Ipso. I don't own it by myself. There's two of us. Camille Potrigus is the other owner, and Camille's job at this moment in time is the head of analysis at the Polish under-21 national team.
Okay.
And he went on a scouting course, and he had a brainwave he heard about me, and he asked me, to cut a long story short, he asked me to come over to Poland and do a seminar for the Polish about scouting. I did it. I went over. It worked. He said, "Why don't we get a business going?" And this is where this evolved. International, because he's Polish, I'm English. Professional, which we are. Scouting is what we do, and we built an organization.
When you were kind of working within Poland, what would you, from a scouting perspective, what was kind of their kind of philosophy like? Because obviously you've got somebody from continental Europe, literally, and working with them. How have you kind of found that?
In Poland, believe it or not, they had 5 years we've been going as a company. They had no scouts apart from teams like Legia Warsaw, like Poznan, maybe Gdansk. They're the top three big clubs.
Yeah,
they'll have scouts, but all the other ones didn't. They just had like coaches, and the coaches did the scouting. So they were looking at always from coaching points of view. You know, nothing wrong. They can still see players, but again, it's about what quality can you see. What's the difference between a properly trained scout and a really good coach? There's a big difference.
Right.
You talk to a scout with a lot of experience, they will overshadow the pro licensed coach, and that because they've got that expertise in that field. People seem to think that you get a pro license badge and you are the be all and end all in football. Well, you're not. Can a pro licensed coach go and do performance analysis? No, we can't.
Right.
So why can he do scouting?
And in terms, what was your thoughts on the level of education that the people that were coming into the courses in Poland? What was your thoughts on their, I suppose, ability level and their understanding?
No, the knowledge was good. The knowledge, you know, it's all built around coaching because they'd never seen scouting courses. They'd never had scouting. And this is where Camille, my partner, seen the light about fetching it over to Poland to get scouting courses. Now there's a few other people, you know, copying us, doing us, blah, 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 which that's business. That's how it is. You know what I mean? But we built a reputation over 5 years, and we know that we have the strongest courses in the world. We've been in China for 3 years. We've been in China for three years, and we've been in India. We have a 5-year contract with the All Indian Football Federation. 1.4 billion people, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
It's pretty big. We're with the Estonian Football Association. Yeah, we've got about 5 or 6 other football associations waiting to come on board with us, but the pandemic has put plan to that. We've partnered up with Slavia Prague, Malmo, Ludogorets. You know, all these teams playing the Champions League every year.
Yeah.
We're partnered up with the IFBI, International Football Business Institute in Belgium.
Okay.
The UCFB at Wembley Stadium and the Etihad, and many more.
So when you look at like a lot of the other competitors that you kind of have in that industry, but kind of what sets you apart is you guys were about building the best, where you could educate people, but also I suppose it's the value that people are getting as well. It's the value that's been given to them as well, isn't it?
But I can't. The only way I can answer that question is I can't sit here as a professional and slag another company off saying we're better than them. We're better than them. They're better than us. Blah blah blah. I can't say that. What I can say is, from our students, when they come on our course after they've been on their courses, they go, "Whoa, this is a different ball game."
Right.
Yeah. Well, we had Martin Dobson, who's played for England, played for Everton and Burnley. Dobbo's the right just over the 70 now, and Dobbo's been in the game since he was 16. So what's that? 54 years, over 50 years. Yeah. And Dobbo is a good friend of mine, and he came to look at the courses, and he fell in love with them. And then Dobbo ended up working for us, delivering the courses, because he's been a scout for 20 or 30 years. I've lost count. And Dobbo, and when you get that caliber of person coming on board with you, with the England experience. You know, he knows everybody in the game. He's managed teams. He's been director of football. He's been head of academy. He's done everything in the book. To come on our courses and go, wow, what you've got there, Col, your company is fantastic. We've had 3 or 4 different managers of the Polish national team come on the course. The latest one's just been on and said, wow, they all love it. Everybody loves it because we're giving something back and it's meaningful.
So whether you're coming from a coaching background, but if somebody's coming through, they're taking the course, and then literally this is a good gateway for them to have this type of qualification, go and get a part-time role somewhere within a club where they can literally learn. And then at the same time, is there any type of mentoring? So if they have any questions once they leave Ipso, can they still get back in touch with Ipso if they need help or they need advice, things like that?
We like to think our aftercare is second to none. Listen, I'm such an easygoing lad. Anybody can ring me anytime. As long as they're only on the phone for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes at max. You know, we don't want them there for 2 or 3 hours. I'm a phone call away for advice. You know, that's what it's about. And it makes it, again, it makes a difference. I'm a phone call away. How often can you ring up the director of a company? Hey, can you tell me, I've just looked at this centre back. He did this, this, this. Oh, yeah, listen, next time, just have a look at that. All right, thank you, bang. How good's that? Yeah,
right. Yeah, and that's how a lot of them are, because I think they put gatekeepers in place, I think, which sometimes isn't always the best thing, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
That little bit of courtesy and that little bit of feedback back, it goes a long way with people and students.
Yeah,
and they appreciate. It's not a case of taking your money and running. It's taking your money, right? We're in it for a business. We're in it to keep ourselves employed. But the main thing is, it's to teach them. And if we can improve them and help them, and they go away and say, hey, do you know what? I went on this course. It was a little bit more expensive than that, or a bit cheaper than that. But I tell you what, the knowledge and then the aftercare, you could ring them up and they just did it. It was great. That's what you want.
Right.
That's what I'd want. So I try to do it what I'd want. I look at it like a student's point of view. What would I want? And that's what I want.
Right.
Well, first of all, I was just thinking about Ted and how he trained me and how fantastically he trained me and all the hard times I had where he used to sort of bollock me for doing certain things and, you know, don't do that, you should have done this.
Right.
And then I look at it and I think, God, it was such good training, you know, to do the job properly. Yeah. And then when I look back on it, I thought, well, I could go into a course. I'd love to pass it on. And here I am now passing on it's not me, like I said, it's his. With a little sprinkle of me, a sprinkle of Kev Gallagher, a sprinkle of Martin Dobson, a sprinkle of Camille, it's a sprinkle of all the other people who work at Ipso. We all put a little bits in, but the core is from Ted. Right. But as the game evolves, we have to evolve and we have to tweak it to suit. And then we get all the experts in, but the experts that we get in, you know, for example, we would never have a pro licensed coach delivering a pro licensed coach delivering a scouting course. Right. It should be a scout. Right. It should be a head of scouting, a chief scout, not a pro licensed coach. Not saying they can't do it, but they're not experts. They're experts in coaching. They're a pro coach. They're not a scout. Correct. And there's a big difference. We are experts in scouting and analysis. I'm not an expert coach. I'm not an expert manager. Put me into scouting and analysis at this moment in time where I am at my age, at the standard of football at this moment in time, I'm up to scratch. And as the game evolves, I have to evolve. Yeah. So then the courses evolve. Then the knowledge we hand down evolves. If you don't, you're going to be an old-fashioned scout teaching kids or young guys not the up-to-date material. And that's not what we are.
Obviously, you guys are you're in Poland, you're doing stuff in other parts, and there's other associations kind of coming on board. Working with UCFB, how's that been going?
UCF. We went into the UCFB, we did a couple of courses, they fell in love with what we do, we've got a fantastic relationship, and we booked in more courses for the future. Everything's fantastic with the UCFB, we're just waiting to design more courses. The pandemic's causing a problem to everybody, so our relationship with the UCFB is just new and just starting off, but it's fantastic. So that's going well. We're obviously with the Indian FA, we've got lots to do over there. So, you know, in India, for example, you have to have the Ipso qualification. Like in England, you have to have the FAs because they run the country. In India, we run the country, Ipso. We are the FA because of our badge and our in the scouting side. But we're under the umbrella of the All Indian FA. because they're so much in love with our products.
Right.
And it works. And it's the same with Estonia. You go to Estonia, you have to have the Ipso qualification, not the FA, not the Belgium FA or the Dutch FA, but Ipsos, because we're making a mark. So as we're growing and we're getting all this credibility from federations, what make the difference. We've got meetings with Nigeria. I've got meetings in China. I've got meetings in America. I've got meetings in Canada. I've got meetings in Finland, Brazil. You name it. You name a country, I've more or less got a meeting.
No, it's a good thing though, because it means that the brand is getting around there and it's becoming global. I think that's the greatest thing about the game, isn't it? It's such a global game that we're a part of. And so what I definitely would definitely like to do is I definitely like anybody that's kind of watching our podcast today, Colin, I'd like them to definitely jump on and follow you. Where if they have any question for you, you guys are on LinkedIn. I know you're big on LinkedIn. Are you on Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Facebook. Facebook's probably the best one because you can put really good long articles on. But don't forget our website. On our website now, we've got some good things going.
Okay.
We have a jobs section for jobs. Okay. And we've also got Total Football Analysis, who's a partner with us. And they put a regular update of reports on football analysis. So it's like reading a magazine. They are a magazine, Total Football Analysis, and they're our partners. And if you like what's on our website, you can go to their website and move forward with them.
Okay.
But there's lots going on our website. So ipsofootball.com and Ipso Football on Facebook. Okay.
And so whenever they actually come out, and in terms of, so obviously we'll actually send other people do, because I know we're going to be doing some things here. And so also as well, you guys on Facebook quite a lot. You guys are obviously updating people on obviously courses. Do you guys are you guys doing all your courses on Zoom at the minute, or are you guys looking to start some with social distancing?
Well, it's a little bit of a mix. For one day we're getting a phone call where we can do a course, and then we're saying we can't because of restrictions. So there's a little bit of Zooms, a little bit of online stuff, a little bit of a mix. If I'm being honest, I'm not 100% sure because of what's going on. But what I am sure of is we have an online course, we have webinars at the end of every month, and we're just looking to kick off in September with the live courses. But again, the live courses are not 100% accurate at the moment because we don't know if we can do it, because we don't know if people are going to fly in. It's a little bit confusing.
Right. Okay. Colin, it's been very, very educational for me. Just to see kind of a lot of the stuff you guys are actually doing, and I think for everybody else just to come and learn all about recruitment and some of the myths that are out there. So we'll definitely talk. We'll definitely put up some stuff, and we'll put up a document on myths and things. And for anybody who wants to come and learn more, they can come and they can register for Ipso. So if they come and book now, you guys will just come back to them, is that right? You guys just send them an email?
If you just go on the website, the webinars are the ones at the moment. The webinars and the online course. Just go to our website. Everything's on the website, clear as day. And just book on. And I would strongly advise the online course and the webinars. The webinars are a fantastic look. If you've enjoyed this conversation, what we've just had, we've talked about a lot of things. Imagine what the webinars are like when we're going to be showing you loads of tips and skills, and that's just like a drip feed to the courses.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's definitely going to be the key. And I think, like I said, it's a learning curve. Everything's a learning curve. So everyone, like I say, thank you for joining me and Colin this afternoon. And any comments, and then any comments you want to leave for Colin, just let us know, and then we'll kindly pass them on to him. Or if you want to get in touch with Colin, you can reach him on LinkedIn at Colin Chambers, or type in Ipso. And then obviously just go to Facebook also, where you'll also find Ipso as well. And but thank you very much, and have a great day.